You know, the older I get, the more the mornings are an interesting time for me. My dreams become more and more vivid, and I remember them almost every day, which is unusual. And sometimes I wake up with a song in my head that just comes out of nowhere. And this morning it was, "You're so sweet, horseflies keep hanging round your face." I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Coming up next is Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. This is a building. This is the church. And I want to talk a little bit about that again today. This is one of our older mugs and free download poster and also a t-shirt. This is a building. This is the church. The difference between the two and how important that is. And here's our question for today. By the way, you can get that and our coffee and all of our stuff at wearemetalwearefamily.com. I almost forgot to say that, and it's important. All the financial proceeds go to our homeless folks. Dear Pastor Bob, I'm very frustrated. I gave up trying to find a good church. Gave up trying to find a good church, he says. Everyone that we visit either has bad theology or they are unfriendly. I don't really know what to do. My family and I don't attend anywhere now. I know it isn't healthy for us, but I don't know what else to do. So you said twice you don't know what to do, and I understand. It is frustrating, and I get this question often. I've given up. I can't find anything. Every time I find a church, I get hurt. I don't want to subject my family to that anymore. We've just given up. And I get it. I really do get it. But I want to, in celebration of church and how important it is, I want to remind you that church is people, not a building. And if you can't find a good church in a building, you ought to look for it in other ways. But let's define some things and let's talk about what does the Bible say about church. So here it is in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. Let us consider and give attentive, continuous care to watching over one another, studying how we may stir up and stimulate and incite to love and helpful deeds and noble activities. That's what the church is supposed to be doing. How many are doing it? Not many. And then it says, but this is the part, not forsaking or neglecting to assemble together as believers, in other words, the church, as is the habit of some people, but admonishing, warning, urging, and encouraging one another, and all the more faithfully as you see the day approaching. So this is important, folks. And here's the process we all go through. Now, the family that pulls away from all of this doesn't have this great camaraderie to draw from. Not only that, not only the importance of encouraging one another and all of these things that we just read here in Hebrews 10, but we also don't have an opportunity to observe and to use other people's spiritual gifts. Where we are lacking, we continue to lack. None of us possess all the spiritual gifts, but in the body of Christ, they're all present and working together. And that's why a body isn't just a spectator sport. That's why we all work together in this. I have so many meetings all week long, and I call most of those meetings church because they really are for me and for others. And when we sit around and we talk about spiritual matters, and they have gifts that I don't have and they plug into my life, there are sometimes after a day of that, I come home and I think I am so rich and so blessed, and I just had church all day long. You know, that's what it is. And if your family can't see that, if your family isn't involved with that, that's a problem, isn't it? So it says, let us consider this. Let's give attentive, continuous care to watching over one another, studying how we may stir up and stimulate and incite to love and helpful deeds and noble activities, studying it. What can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I stir those things up in you? How can I use my spiritual gifts with your spiritual gifts to move forward? But the bottom line is, don't forsake or neglect the assembling together. So I want to read this from the Message commentary, starting with verse 25 or 22. And it says, so let's do it, full of belief, confident that we're presentable inside and out in God's sight. Let's keep a firm grip on the promises that keep us going. He always keeps his word. Let's see how inventive we can be in encouraging love and helping out, not avoiding worshiping together as some do, but spurring each other on, especially as we see the big day approaching. So that's it, folks. And I like that it says, confident that we're presentable inside and out. And that confidence comes from being reassured about it all the time from others as well. And it says, let's see how inventive we can be in encouraging love and helping out. Inventive. In other words, let's look for ways to do this. And as a body of Christ, we look for ways to do this. What again? Encouraging love and helping out. So a family that stays away from this kind of interaction is hurting. Now, I've told you before, but I guarantee you that there are people in your community that are feeling the same way. And a church doesn't have to be in a particular building. It could be anywhere. Your living room, a restaurant. All it takes is you inviting one other person or another family or whatever that feels the same way. Let's go have lunch. Let's not make it anything official. Let's go have lunch. Let's have dinner. Let's hang out together in the evening. Let's just get together and talk. And let Socratic discussion begin. Let's see how God leads us. We don't have to say, okay, let's get together and we're going to study, the Bible and go through all the original Greek. You may be doing that at some point, but usually it's just at the beginning. Let's get together. Let's see what happens. Let's just get together and encourage one another. Let's just get together and talk. Let's have dinner. In other words, it doesn't have to be something that's formal. It can be something very loose and Socratic. And those are sometimes the best ones you'll ever have. Well, folks, don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.